just say that.
Okay.
That's the only spot we'll probably be changing is catcher.
Okay. And who's the country again?
Goolsby's started.
Right, I know Goldstein. Yeah. Okay.
We have mostly pitchers that will.
Yeah. Well, Alex is the DH, and then Nico's playing
Right field.
right field, right.
This week.
Derlin.
Derlin will catch.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
I have Nico, Derlin, Gray, and Alex. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all now please rise and remove your hats. The playing of our national anthem, sung by longtime Kettleers fan Nicky Chevalier on stage. Nicky Chevalier. Now it's time to play ball here at Lowell Park.
From Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. On Cape Cod, this is Blue Sox Baseball on LSP. Today, it's the annual scrimmage between the reigning Intercity League champion Lexington Blue Sox and the Cotuit Kettleers. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sam Feely, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. The Blue Sox and Kettleers, of course, going back 14 years now. And this another edition of this scrimmage here on LSP. Didn't have it last year because we were down in South Carolina last year, but Blue Sox taking on Cotuit, of course, the team that Rick DeAngelis, the owner and manager of the Blue Sox, played for in his youth while at Holy Cross. And the Kettleers will begin their season on Monday against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, and they will seek their first their first Cape Cod League title since 2013. Blue Sox with won't have many position player changes today, but they will have plenty of pitchers to go through, and we'll tell you about them as we go along. But here is Dominic Zare leading it off in center field today for the Blue Sox, and he will be opposed by Cotuit starter Beck Way from Belmont Abbey College. The first pitch to Dom fired at 115 is down and in for ball one. We're underway. We'll be playing one 12-inning game today. In years past, we've played 2 7-inning games. We've played 3 games set over the course of a weekend, of course. Those days gone by. The 1-1 now, as this is laced down the right field line, and that will get down for a base hit for Dom. So the leadoff batter aboard for the Blue Sox as Dominic picks up the single. And that'll bring up Anderson Jimenez, making his Blue Sox debut out of New England College, where a couple weeks ago, NEC was 1 win away from the Division III College World Series before falling to UMass Boston. Way delivers, and that's down and away for ball one. Anderson batted .333 with 2 homers and 15 RBIs this season, his freshman campaign for the NEC Pilgrims, and he's even in the count 1-1 after that foul ball. Way looks at first, comes set, and the pitch, swing and a miss and an off-speed pitch, and he's behind 1-2. Jimenez's coach, by the way, at NEC, as Way comes set, is Terry Doyle, as thrown over to first. Backstanding is there. Terry Doyle, who played for Boston College at the same time as Pete Frates. As this is grounded to second, could be 2 fielded there to the shortstop for 1. On to first, hard slide, but it's in time for a double play. And there are 2 down here in the top of the first. But and one of Doyle's assistant coaches is a fellow Intercity League player, Ryan Gendron. So that'll bring up Kyle 80 with the bases empty and 2 away here in the top of the first. 12-inning ball game, and this is fouled down the first base line for strike 1. We'll give you the full starting lineup in just a second, but here is the pitch, and it's outside for ball 1 to even the count. So we mentioned Zaire in center, Jimenez at third, 80 in left, Zach Stevens is at first, Morgan Brown is at short, Gray Goolsby is behind the plate, Alex McDonough is the DH, as that's strike 2. Nico Frelick will be in right field, and John Barry will round out the lineup at second base, and starting on the mound for the Blue Sox will be Eddie Campbell. The 1-2. This is grounded to the right side, backhanded scoop by the second baseman, Nick Gonzalez, out of the University of New Mexico. He fires on to first for the out that retires the side, so no runs, 1 hit, and nobody left after half an inning. Blue Sox nothing, Cotuit coming up. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Get your company's message on air or on localsportsproductions.com for as little as $25 per ad. Visit localsportsproductions.com/advertising or email Sam at localsportsproductions.com for more information. So, while Eddie Campbell from Bridgewater Raynham High School in Virginia Tech gets his warm-up pitches in, we'll tell you the starting lineup for the Cotuit Kettleers. It'll be Cam Hill leading it off in left, followed by Nick Gonzalez at second. Ron Sweeney is at first. Colton Kessler is behind the plate. Cam Williams is at short. Casey Schmidt is at third. Mason Dodd is the DH. Ryan Kim is in right field, and Dante Williams rounds out the lineup in center. We saw Beck Way on the mound for the top of the first. And here is Cam Hill out of the University of Kentucky. Hill just finished his sophomore season with the Wildcats. And Campbell on the left matchup. Hill looks to bunt this one, and he pops it foul over the press box and out of play for strike one. Hill batted .248 for the Wildcats this year. 1 homer and 9 RBIs. Next offering from Campbell, and that runs in and hits him pretty badly. Wow, nearly got him in the head. So Campbell hits the first batter he sees. And the leadoff man is aboard, and they're going to bring the trainer out to make sure that Hill is okay. And it looks like he's going to be okay. So Hill reaches, and that'll bring up Nick Gonzalez, the second baseman out of New Mexico. Made a couple of fine plays at second in the top half of this inning. As that is upstairs for ball one. Stand correct, he's actually from New Mexico State, not New Mexico. From Vail, Arizona. Plays high school ball at Clenega High School. Throw over to first, and they nearly got him. High school had a career batting average of point shy of 400 with 120 runs scored, 89 RBIs, and 45 stolen bases. So this is a young man you want to keep off the base paths. Runner goes, pitches high, throw down to second. It's a one-hopper, and they got him. A one-hop throw by the catcher Goolsby, but they get Hill. And there's one down. 2-0 the count, however, to Gonzalez. And this is slapped down the third baseline, but foul. And Campbell back in the count at 2-1. Gonzalez is finishing his sophomore year with the Aggies, batting .347 with 9 homers and 36 RBIs. As that catches the inside corner, and Campbell back even in the count 2-2 with Gonzalez. Gonzalez had a 5-for-6 game with 3 RBIs on February 16th against Texas Southern. As the count is full. Opened this and actually had 2 multi-home run games this year. As that's high for ball 4. So the speedster Gonzalez reaches with one out here in the first. And that'll bring up Ron Sweeney, the first baseman. Sweeney out of Iowa Western Community College. Lefty against lefty. Runner goes on the first pitch. The throw down to second is not going to be nearly in time. And Gonzalez picks up the steal. Count is 0-1, however, to Sweeney. Lefty against lefty here. Gonzalez dancing off of second. The pitch is outside for ball one as Campbell hits 81 on the gun. Sweeney out of Woodbury, Minnesota. Batted .375 with 4 home runs and 34 RBIs this year for Iowa Western. That is on the outside corner for strike 2. Was a 4-year varsity starter at Woodbury High. Also played 3 years of varsity hockey. We all know how big high school hockey is in Minnesota. 2-2. Infield back here. Runner takes off for third. The pitch is swung on, missed. Throw down to third is not in time. So Sweeney goes down on strikes, but Gonzalez with a big jump at second takes third on his second stolen base on this trip around the bases, and there are 2 down. And that'll bring up Colton Kessler, the catcher, also out of the University of Kentucky. And Kessler takes on the outside corner, strike 1. And that jackknifes Kessler a little bit, and that evens the count at 1. Kessler just finished his sophomore year for the Wildcats. As he bloops this one, and this will be caught on the run by the second baseman, John Barry, for the out that retires the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. And after half an inning, no score. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Want LSP to tape or broadcast your team's games? Rates start just $100 per game. Also ask LSP about streaming your next gaming tournament, wedding, concert, recital, school play, meeting, or other event. Visit localsportsproductions.com/services or email Sam at localsportsproductions.com for more information. I mentioned Kessler's stats on the season: batted .291 with 5 homers and 17 RBIs. Also had 12 doubles. Justin Garcia will take over on the mound for the Cotuit Kettleers. Garcia just finished his junior year at Roger Williams University. Hometown not far from here, Foxborough, Mass. This year for Roger Williams was 3-0 with a 3.81 ERA in 26 innings, allowed 21 hits as is fouled off, 13 runs, 11 of which were earned, walked 19, and struck out 46. Zach Stevens, a freshman All-America selection for the Navy midshipmen, takes strike 2. Stevens having a great freshman season for the midshipmen, as his former LHS teammate Sal Fralick did for Boston College, as that's fouled off. Remains 0-2. As this is smoked into left center field, and this will be caught on the run by the left fielder Cam Hill for out number 1. Stevens gave that a ride, but that'll be out number 1. On the year at Navy, by the way, Stevens batted .319 with 5 homers and 17 RBIs. Went to Lexington High, but then transferred to IMG Academy. As this is a little nubber off the handle of the bat by Morgan Brown, fielded at third and thrown on to first. 2 down. So Brown gets jammed there and grounds out 5-3. And that'll bring up Gray Goolsby, wearing Dave Ahern's number 41 today. As that is down and away for ball 1. A check swing by Goolsby, but he went around there, and it's 1-1. Goolsby, in his first season with the Blue Sox last year, batted .192 with 5 RBIs. He's ahead 2-1. Up and in to Goolsby, and he is ahead 3-1 of Garcia. And Goolsby takes down an in, and he works a 5-pitch walk. Goolsby, last July 31st, had a game in which he had no official at-bats and scored 2 runs. And that was when he drew 2 walks against Watertown, and he draws a walk here. And the first pitch runs inside and drills Alex McDonough. Welcome to the Blue Sox. And Nico Frelick, the brother of Sal, will step to the plate. And now a quick word between Garcia and Colton Kessler. Frelick wearing number 11. Frelick takes at the knees for strike 1. Infield back here for the Kettleers as that bounces away from the catcher Kessler, but no advance by the runners as he keeps the ball in front of him. And that moves the count to 1-1. And now they're going to say it hit him. Oh, wow. So suddenly the bases loaded. And that'll bring up John Barry, who had a great game in the season opener against the Alabrandies out of the 9 slot. So a walk and 2 hit batsmen after the first 2 batters were retired rather quickly. And let's see what Barry can do. Working with the full windup is Garcia, the pitch, and that's at the top of the strike zone for strike 1. No score, but a base hit could bring in 2 here for the Blue Sox on the road against the Cotuit Kettleers. Infield plays back. The pitch is down and in, 1-1, and that's about where Garcia has been missing when he misses. It's basically been overthrows to his glove side. Goolsby at third, McDonough at second, Frelick at first, and the 1-1. Off-speed pitch in there for strike 2. Catching the outside part of the plate at 79 miles an hour. So Barry behind 1-2. Let's see what his 2-strike approach is here. Outfield infield playing back, outfield playing in for Barry. And the 1-2 runs too far inside to even the count at 2. .397 to dead center here at Lowell Park. Like to see Barry drive one out towards that direction, but he fouls that one off. Still 2-2. Manager of the Cotuit Kettleers, of course, in his 17th season with the club is Mike Roberts, father of former All-Star second baseman for the Baltimore Orioles, Brian Roberts, as that's just barely fouled off by Barry for keeping the count at 2-2. Chance for the Blue Sox to take the lead here in this 12-inning exhibition. The pitch on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Bit of a delayed call there by Barry. He looked to the umpire, and then he made the strike 3 call, and that does it. The Blue Sox leave the bases loaded, and after 1.5, still no score. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow LSP on the web at localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring, LSP37, Snapchat, LSP Media, and subscribe to the LSP YouTube channel. Campbell back out there for his second inning of work. He's scheduled to work the first 2 innings, and we'll give you the full rundown of the Blue Sox pitching rotation for today. We'll have Campbell for the first 2, then we'll have Matt Karras for inning number 3. Junior Pena will pitch innings 4 through 6 in his Blue Sox debut. Borja Jones Barasaluthe for the 7th, Nate Espelin for the 8th, Drew Brzezowski for the 9th, Kelvin Guzman for the 10th, Raimundo Gomez for the 11th, and Nick Harper for the 12th. As this is laced into center field and down for the first hit of the ball game for the Kettleers by Cam Williams, the shortstop. I'll bring up Casey Schmidt, the third baseman from San Diego State. Schmidt standing, they may have the runner picked off, go into second, and they do. The pickoff goes 1, 2, 3 to 6 as Campbell made the right move there, and there's one down before a pitch is even thrown to Schmidt. And Schmidt actually from the University of San Diego, not San Diego State. He had the couple of mismatched schools here on the roster. We had Nick Gonzalez listed as from New Mexico. He's from New Mexico State. Now Casey Schmidt from San Diego, where, of course, Chris Bryant played his college ball. Excuse me, it was San Diego State, my mistake. As that is a ball 1-1. Campbell delivers, and this is grounded to the left side, and that nicks off the glove of the shortstop Morgan Brown for a base hit. Schmidt just finished his sophomore season for the Aztecs, by the way. On the season, batted both batted and pitched as a throw over to first gets away, and up to second will go Schmidt. So runner in scoring position. One down for Mason Dodd, the designated hitter, out of Belmont Abbey. Out of Augusta, Georgia, as that's down and away for ball 1. Dodd batted .313 with 15 home runs and 64 RBIs for Belmont Abbey this year, with 5 stolen bases as well. Swing and a miss. Looking for another home run right there, and it's 1-1. Just finished his junior year for the Crusaders of Belmont Abbey. He takes strike 2 at the knees. Belmont Abbey, a private Catholic university in Charlotte. Founded in 1876 by Benedictine monks. As this is grounded to the right side. And throwing on to first is the second baseman, Barry. Up to third goes Schmidt. And there are 2 down. Throw nearly pulled Stevens off the bag, but he stayed on there. And there are 2 down for Ryan Kim, the right fielder out of Boise State. Kim actually played 3 years at Portland at Portland University before transferring to Boise State, who just recently restarted their baseball program. Native of South Korea. And the pitch is in there for strike one. So, native of South Korea, but went to high school in Boise at Timberline High School in Boise. And that nearly hit him as that runs too far inside. It's 2-1. Played his sophomore year last year with the Portland Pilots. He was third on the team in on-base percentage at .366 and batted .268 with 3 home runs and 17 RBIs. So 4-year letter winner at Timberline and a Southern Idaho Conference first teamer during his senior year in high school. 2-2 the count to Kim. And the pitch, swing and a miss, and a pitch up and away, and the inning is over. So Campbell gets through his 2 innings scoreless, and after 2 complete, still no score. This is Blue Sox Baseball on LSP. You can follow the Blue Sox on the web at LexingtonBlueSox.com, Facebook.com/LexingtonBlueSox, and on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSox_ICL. New pitcher for the Kettleers is Grant Holman, who is a dual threat for the Cal Golden Bears this season, as Dom Zaire steps in for his second at-bat, and takes strike one on a curveball. Holman delivers a check swing. They'll appeal, and he did not go, and it is ball one. Holman through 41 1/3 innings, as this is a little blooper down the first baseline, scooped up there and tagging the bag. For the first out, Zaire is 1 for 2. Pitched 41 1/3 innings. And it allowed an ERA of about 4.5. And at the plate, batted .277. As that is fouled off for strike one to Anderson Jimenez. Jimenez grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. Holman's season high in strikeouts was 5 in the game on March 3rd against St. Mary's. As this is blooped into right field, and that'll get caught. Oh, wow. I thought that was sinking faster than it did, but it's caught on the run by the right fielder Kim for out number 2. So let's see what Kyle 80 can do with 2 outs and the bases empty. He grounded out to second, his first time up to end the first. That's in there for strike 1. You know, that first inning, some good defense being played by Nick Gonzalez over at second base. First picking up the ball for the turn for the double play, then a nice backhand to deny 80 of a hit to end the first inning. 80 eschewing the batting gloves, and the pitch is a check swing, and they'll appeal, and he did not go, and it is 2-1. Top of the third, no score here from Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. The annual scrimmage between the Blue Sox and the Cotuit Kettleers as that runs up and in 3-1. Playing 12 innings today. 1 12-inning game as this is fouled off, and that'll fill the count. We'll have a new pitcher for the Blue Sox in the bottom half of this inning, and that'll be Matt Karras. The payoff pitch from Holman to 80. Here it is. Up and away, ball 4, and the Blue Sox have worked another walk. And that'll bring up Zach Stevens. He's 0 for 1. And the cutter misses outside for ball 1. Throw back to first, and 80 back standing. Stevens, Lexington High native, as I mentioned, finished his high school career at IMG Academy before going to the Naval Academy in Annapolis. As he comes up empty for strike 1 to even the count. Blue Sox have 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 hit batsmen, but no runs. As that is fouled off to make it 1-2. Zach will just be here for the first month of the season for the Blue Sox before heading back to Annapolis in July. I know I've mentioned that before, but worth noting. 80 inching off of first, and the pitch is swung on and missed for strike number 3, and the side is retired. After 2.5, no score. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. The LSP store is now open. Get yourself a DVD copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers or shirts, including the LSP hoodie and the Never Concede Collection. Visit localsportsproductions.com/store after the game to place your order. So Matty K. Karras will pitch now for the Blue Sox. Just one inning. And Dante Williams, the number 9 hitter and center fielder from Arizona, will be his first assignment. And Williams looking to bunt his way on, and that's strike one. Dante just finished his sophomore season at Tucson out of Legacy High School in Las Vegas, and he grounds out 4-3 to begin the bottom of the third. Williams had a season-high 4 runs scored on May 23rd against Washington State. Had 2 triples in that game as well. One up, one down, and the lineup turns over for Cam Hill, the left fielder from Kentucky. And he wants to bunt his way on, and that's outside for ball one. I'm guessing Jimenez is going to have to respect the bunt here, as this is lined out of the reach of Barry for a base hit. So Hill is aboard for the second time, and that'll bring up Nick Gonzalez, who walked and then stole second and third in the first. Hill was caught stealing his first time. As they'll throw over to first, they may have another pickoff here. Stevens over to short, and back to Karras. And now they will tag him as he was trying to dodge the tag getting into second. And there are 2 down as it's another caught stealing for the Blue Sox defense. So Gonzalez will have to try and get things going himself. I'd say that's good practice to deal with Kyle Levine when you get back to the ICL schedule, as that is inside for ball one. But Levine no longer in the ICL, of course, with the Reds folding before this season. Low for ball two. With Karras, you'll see a 2-seamer, a cutter, a slider, and a changeup. It's the combination that's led him to be one of the best pitchers in Blue Sox history. And this now is 10th year with the club. Also coaches at Deerfield Academy. Swing and a miss. There's the changeup. 2-1. Knew he was going to sit fastball in 2-0. Got him fishing. Karras still behind the count, 2-1, however. As he misses down and in with another off-speed pitch, and it is 3-1. On deck, Ron Sweeney. Karras looking to put away the speedster Gonzalez, and he fouls this one off to fill the count. Try to get a slider to the, I think we go either slider to the outside corner or 2-seamer to the inside corner. I would try to throw it in the zone here. Force contact. Trust your defense to get a out. And he threw it out of the zone, and that'll be ball 4. So Gonzalez works his second walk. So that'll bring up Ron Sweeney, who struck out swinging his first time up. And let's see what Gonzalez has in mind here on the bases. Got a decent lead there. Takes a secondary lead, and it's outside for ball one. I mean, I don't think I'd even concern myself with Gonzalez. With 2 outs, I just try and get Sweeney to roll one over. Try and get him to roll one over on changeup away here. Get out of the inning. Runner goes. The pitch is popped up. That'll do it too. Jimenez into foul ground. Drops it! So, new life for Sweeney. That should have been an inning-ending pop-up. That'll be an error on Jimenez. Just went a step too far. And let's see if Sweeney can make him pay, or if maybe Jimenez can get a reprieve on a ground ball to third. 1-1 the count. They'll throw back to first, and back safely is Gonzalez. Change up outside. 2-1. 69 miles an hour on that changeup. Runner goes. The pitch is inside, and it sails into center field. Gonzalez is on his way to third. So Gonzalez with 3 steals in 3 innings, and now a 3-1 count to Sweeney. And this is popped up into foul territory. Stevens calling for it, and he can't see it, but thankfully for him, it goes out of play, so he wasn't going to be able to make a play anyway. And it is a full count. So 3-2. Change up on the outside corner here. Nope, not change up, but a fastball, but he does get him to swing and miss. And the inning is over, so nothing comes of the 2 errors in the inning. And after 3 complete, no score, this is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. LSP's next broadcast is Monday afternoon at 3:55 p.m. when the Greater Lowell Griffins host the Melrose Red Raiders in the MIAA Division II North Baseball quarterfinals. Watch the game live at localsportsproductions.com/live, and stream the game the next day at localsportsproductions.com/on-demand or on the LSP YouTube channel, or buy a DVD of the game at the LSP store. New pitcher for Cotuit is Matt Moore, left-hander out of Purdue. And his first pitch to Morgan Brown is swung on, missed for strike one. Cutter runs inside for ball one to even the count. Purdue, redshirt sophomore for the Boilermakers out of Avon, Indiana. Was pitched 27 games, all in relief. As this is fouled off for strike two. And is 11th in program history for most appearances in a season with those 27 games. Went 5-0 and average 11 and a quarter strikeouts per 9 innings. All told, he pitched 28 innings, allowed a 4.18 earned run average. This is grounded down the first baseline foul, remains 2-2. Struck out 4 batters in an inning in 2/3 against the Texas Longhorns on February 24th. So had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings against Jacksonville State on March 15th. And a swing and a miss. And down goes Morgan for out number 1 of the top of the 4th. So that'll bring up Gray Goolsby. Goolsby walked his first time up. He was stranded at third when the Blue Sox had the bases loaded and 2 out in the top of the second. Goolsby takes downstairs for ball 1. Goolsby, a native of Austin, Texas, plays his college ball at Middlebury, as that's upstairs for ball 1. Ball 2, rather. A foul tip into the mitt of Kessler. And it's 2-1. Home plate umpire just going out to have a word with Moore and just give Kessler a chance to regain his bearings after getting a little shaken up on that foul tip. Two and 1 the count to Goolsby. It's going to be interesting to see how the Blue Sox handle the position player changes later in this game, because you don't expect Goolsby to catch all 12 innings in a scrimmage. The Blue Sox have brought four catchers: Goolsby, Derlin Tejeda, as that's high for ball 4, and Goolsby works another walk. And then you have Nico Frelick, who's listed as a catcher, but of course he's in the outfield today. And then Alex McDonough, who steps to the plate now, who's the DH today. McDonough is a product of the University of Miami, but of the club team. He was hit by a pitch his first time up, and he takes strike 1. Outside for ball 1 to McDonough. McDonough plays outfield for the Hurricanes. And this season batted .308 with 4 homers and 17 RBIs. Throw down to second is not in time. The catcher, Greg Goolsby, with a stolen base. One and two the count to McDonough. Blue Sox with a runner in scoring position again. And the pitch, fouled off, remains 1-2. McDonough with Miami this year, I mentioned 308 with 4 homers and 17 RBIs. Scored a team-high 14 runs as well. That's high for ball 3. He's out of ball 2 rather. He's out of Norfolk, Mass. Had an OPS of 1042, which was second on the Canes, the club Canes. Outside corner, strike 3 called. And there are 2 down, as that's the second strikeout of the inning for Moore. So here's Nico Frelick with a chance with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Nico was hit by a pitch. His first time up. And Nico takes on the inside corner, strike 1. Sure, he's proud of Sal, who I mentioned in the last broadcast on Monday, approached me before the game, called me kid, told him, "Who are you calling kid?" And then called me Mr. Feely. That's how you know you're getting older. When high school students start calling you Mr. Well, of course, Sal not a high schooler anymore, but when people of that age start calling you Mr. and you're not even a teacher. Like, it was one thing a couple years ago when my dad came to see me after a Blue Sox game and we went to Rankatories, as this is grounded to second. It'll be fielded there by Gonzalez on to first for the out that retires the side. I'll finish this thought. So I was like, a couple years ago, my dad met up with me after a game, and then we went to Rankatories for ice cream. And Rhett Adley, who's of course one of the former stars for the Blue Sox, not for the Lexington High School lacrosse team, he was working there, and I introduced him, and I introduced my dad to him, and Rhett called my dad Mr. Feely. He just calls me Sam. So, no score after 3.5. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Yep. Product of the Kansas City Royals organization. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Get your company's message on air or on localsportsproductions.com for as little as $25 per ad. Visit localsportsproductions.com/advertising or email sam@localsportsproductions.com for more information. Whole new battery for the Blue Sox here. We told you that Junior Pena was going to pitch the bottom of the 4th, and he is, and he will be throwing to Derlin Tejeda as he takes over behind the plate for Greg Goolsby. So Colton Kessler will lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth. Pena, a product of the Kansas City Royals organization, and this is popped up into left field, and it will be caught by the left fielder 80 for out number 1 on 1 pitch. And this bunt is popped up, and 2 pitches, 2 outs. As good reactions there on the mound by Pena. That'll retire Cam Williams. And that'll bring up Casey Schmidt. I think this is one of those pitches you can safely groove here. I doubt that Schmidt is going to be swinging on the first pitch after 2 straight 1-pitch outs. But let's see what Pena does here. Yeah, he gets strike 1 over. 0-1. Put it on the outside corner just to be safe. Didn't want to groove it right down the middle. Derlin set up inside. That went outside, but Schmidt fouled it off, and he's behind 0-2. Swing and a miss. 5 pitches, all strikes. And Junior Pena, welcome to the Blue Sox. He gets a 1-2-3 inning. The side is retired after 4 complete, still no score. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Want LSP to tape or broadcast your team's games? Rates start just $100 per game. Also ask LSP about streaming your next gaming tournament, wedding, concert, recital, school play, meeting, or other event. Visit localsportsproductions.com/services or email sam@localsportsproductions.com for more information. John Barry will lead things off here at the top of the 5th. And the first pitch from Bo Hofstra, another Purdue Boilermaker, is in there for strike 1. Hofstra powers in a fastball in there for strike 2 at the knees. Barry struck out looking with the bases loaded. as that's outside for ball one. Check swing. They'll appeal, and he went around, says the infield umpire, and Barry is down on strikes for the second time. One down. Hofstra just finished his sophomore year. He's from Schererville, Indiana. Went to Ileana Christian for high school, as it's popped up foul and out of play for strike one. Dominic Zare getting his third at-bat of the ball game. He is 1 for 2. As he fouls that one off, and now he's behind 0-2. Couldn't catch the outside corner despite the framing attempt from Kessler, and it's 1-2. Hofstra, for the Boilermakers, pitched 39 innings, had a microscopic ERA of 1.6. Called strike 3 as Zare couldn't hold up there, and there are 2 down, and now you can see why. Hofstra in his first 2 years with the Boilermakers, a 2.76 ERA, 7-5 in 91 and a third innings, with an opponent's batting average of 223, just 208 this year. So ball one to Anderson Jimenez. Jimenez comes up empty at a high one there, and it's 1-1. Blowing a fastball by him at 93. I'd say we might hear this guy's name called next June. Off-speed pitch runs inside. That's a very nice change of speeds. 2-1, jamming him inside. And good job of Jimenez to lay off. Now the 2-1. Getting back up to 94 now, and it's 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, high for ball 3. So Jimenez hoping to work his way aboard for the first time with Kyle 80 on deck. And Hofstra hoping to work a 1-2-3 inning here. Payoff pitch is pop foul over the screen, over the press box, and out of play. 12-inning ball game here at Lowell Park in the annual scrimmage between the Blue Sox and the Kettleers. And the 3-2 again is a changeup. No, that was a fastball, excuse me. Two-seamer swung on, miss for strike 3, and the side is retired. 92 looks so much different from 94 for some reason. After 4.5, it is still no score between the Blue Sox and the Kettleers. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Boy, that had some nice sync to it. All right. You can follow LSP on the web at localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring, LSP37, Snapchat, LSP Media, and subscribe to the LSP YouTube channel. Pena starts out the bottom of the fifth with strike one. And an excuse me swing pop up into shallow left, and this will be caught on the run by 80 for out number one. So Mason Dodd retired, and that'll bring up Ryan Kim. Just had 3 hits this ball game thus far, 2 for the Blue Sox and 1 for the Kettleers. Kim wants to bunt his way on, and he offered at it for strike one. A 5-pitch inning in the bottom of the fourth for Pena in his Blue Sox debut. All strikes. This is down the first base line. Stevens will have to win the race to the bag, and he's safe. They say never slide into first base, but that time you can accept it as Kim picks up just the second hit of the ball game for the Kettleers. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Dante Williams. Kim with a good size lead at first. And the pitch, runner goes. The pitch is offered at. Did he swing is the question. That is a strike according to the home plate umpire. So it's strike one, but it's a stolen base for, or did it hit him? It hit him. So it hit him. So no stolen base for Kim, my mistake. And that's the first ball thrown by Pena. It puts runners at first and second with 1 out. And that'll bring up Cam Hill, the left fielder. Hill had the first hit of the game for the Kettleers back in the third with a single. And if he can come through with another one, it'll put the Kettleers on top. Runners dancing off their respective bases. The bunt is down in front of home plate, but it's a foul ball. Oh, no, it hit him. The ball hit Hill outside of the batter's box, so he's out. So, bunting with first and second and 1 out with the leadoff hitter. That's interesting, but trying to get a base hit out of it, and the ball hit him outside in the base path, so he's out. The runners have to go back to first and second, and now it'll be up to Nick Gonzalez. He's reached base twice via the walk and stolen 3 bases. And Pena gets ahead strike one. Third baseman Jimenez even with the bag. Jimenez, by the way, played for Blue Sox veteran Dan Graham at Lowell High, who are in the Super 8. Runners take off. The throw down to third. There's no balk here. The throw back to second. And the runners get back. No, they got him. I thought that, my mistake, I thought Williams had Kim had gotten back to second safely, but he did not, and the inning is over. Wow, kind of a helter-skelter bottom of the 5th inning there, but still no score. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow the Blue Sox on the web at localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring. That's the wrong ones. That's the wrong one. Wrong links. You can follow the Blue Sox on the web at LexingtonBlueSox.com, Facebook.com/LexingtonBlueSox, and on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSox_ICL. Kyle 80 will lead things off here in the top of the 6th against the new pitcher Peyton Alford, a left-hander from Virginia Tech, from Knoxville, Tennessee, transfer from Walters State Community College, as Alford misses down and into 80, ball 1. 1-1 the count. Last year, Alford started in the 2018 NJCAA National Championship game, as that is fouled off of 80, 2-2, in a game that Chipola eventually won over Walters State, 10-7, and it's one of the tournament MVPs. This year for Vatek, 4.19 ERA and 38 2/3 innings. Still 2-2 the count to 80. Zach Stevens on deck, to be followed by Morgan Brown. Slider misses down and away, full count. Just 2 hits apiece for both teams. No score here in the top of the 6th. And this is chopped down the first baseline towards the Blue Sox dugout, foul. Finally got an answer out of Raimundo Gomez as to when I'm going to face him in MLB The Show. It looks like he's going to get the game next week. I'm going to slaughter him because he's so far behind. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Because I just got Signature Series Robbie Alomar on my team. And I'm about to get Hardware Johnny Bench behind the plate. And so, like, my lineup right now is... well, at least in terms, not the batting order, but the outfield left to right is Ichiro. It's going to be Duke Snyder. Oh, my goodness. Zach Stevens puts a charge of this one to left field. Back goes the left fielder. It is gone! Zach Stevens puts the Blue Sox up 1-0. Well, that's the strength of a sailor. Stevens high-fiving his teammates as he heads back to the dugout. 1-0 our score. Zach Stevens with his first home run in a Blue Sox uniform. So that's on the outside corner for strike 1. But yeah, I got my outfield's it's gonna be Snyder in center field, but right now I got Torrey Hunter, Ichiro on left, Vlad in right, Matt Chapman at third. Strike 2, 0-2. Jose Reyes at short. Diamond flashback Jose Reyes, that is. Alomar at second. Frank Thomas at first. I have Buster Posey behind the plate right now, but I will eventually replace him with Johnny Bench. And then a pitching rotation led by Clayton Kershaw. Signature Series Clayton Kershaw is my ace, and All-Star Goose Gossage is my closer. Downstairs, 2-2. And maybe tonight we'll have a surprise LSP game night, and we'll see. And you can just see exactly what Raimundo is in for, unless of course I get my rear end handed to me by other players online. Full count. Good job by Brown to work it from 0-2 to 3-2. And he laces this one to the right side, past the diving second baseman Gonzalez into right, and Morgan Brown has his first hit of the ball game. So we enter this inning with both teams with just 2 hits, and now 2 hits this inning by the Blue Sox. And Derlin Tejeda will get his first at-bat of the ball game. And that's outside for ball 1. We've seen a couple players who just finished their junior years at college for the Kettleers. It's interesting because, like, when you're drafted as a senior in the Major League Baseball draft, you don't have much leverage in terms of contract negotiations. And there was an interesting piece on Deadspin about the New York Mets strategy for this draft, where 15 consecutive picks for the Mets were college seniors, and no other team had taken more than 4 college seniors. Of course, this is a young man who's going to be a senior coming up this fall. Mr. Alford. Yep. Very kind of the Kettleers staffers to bring me a bottle of water. Appreciate it. 2-2. It's a little tired before the game. I remember last year before one of the championship series games, I was dead tired, and then Todd gave me a 5-hour energy. Somehow I had a 5-hour energy lying around his bag, and that helped me out. Went to Cumbies before this game for lunch. Got myself a turkey and cheese sub, and I got a drink. I had a free Chill Zone coupon. I tried this Energy Kick 2.0, and as much as I love Cumberland Farms, it's all right. I stick to my Diet Mountain Dew in the future. I did like the Energy Kick slush when they had it, or the Hyper Freeze as they call it, but they discontinued that years ago, apparently because kids were just getting way too hopped up on it. As Derlin works out a walk. That's the reason I was given as to why they discontinued it. Like, kids would combine that with Mountain Dew and the Chill Zone Hyper Freeze machine, and then they just stopped selling it. They brought it back only a couple months ago as a soda. It's interesting. Back then, the Energy Kick was it was pink. This is like a golden drink. It looks like you ever wonder what energy drinks like Red Bull and Monster look like, because they don't have a see-through, they don't sell them in see-through bottles yet. Like, it looks like what an energy drink looks like. It's gold. It's whatever you want to call it. It looks like how you expect an energy drink to look like if you've ever seen them out of a can. But yeah, I was got an Energy Kick to get me going for this game, and not exactly parched, but I just wanted to get asked where a water fountain was between innings, and they heard my cries of help, I guess. And thanks for the water, guys. All right, here's Alex McDonough, as that is down and in for ball 1. Runners at first and second with 1 out. McDonough is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. 1-0 our score on the Zach Stevens solo shot earlier this inning. And McDonough going for one of his own there. Certainly not a solo shot. It would have been a 3-run home run, but comes up empty at a pitch high and a little bit inside. And it is 1-1 to McDonough. This is top to the left side. Diving stop by the third baseman onto second for 1. Return throw to first, not in time. But a great effort by the third baseman, Casey Schmidt, to stop that one from going into left field. I don't know if it would have played it a run, but it does get the second out. First and third now. They get the trailing runner. So first and third, 2 out for Nico Frelick. He's just got to get one past the infield to bring home the second run of the ball game. Blue Sox have left 5 runners on today. Left the bases loaded in the second. So you're hoping they can at least get that runner home from third and pad it to a 2-run lead. And Frelick takes inside corner, strike 1. Again, a 12-inning ball game we're playing today. Blue Sox have their pitchers mapped out for the day. We've already seen Eddie Campbell and Matt Karras. Junior Pena is going to pitch his last inning of work next inning. Throw over to first and back safely is McDonough. And we'll see 6 different pitchers to the last 6 innings for the Blue Sox, including Nate Espelin, who was a 35th round pick of the Yankees the other day. And McDonough just barely stumbles back in. So Espelin from the Wartown Reds to Winchendon to Dayton and then to the Yankees. Of course, when you're a 35th round pick, as that rattles off the screen, strike 2, they're pretty sure you're going to go to college. But you never know. Mike Piazza was, 50-something round pick? Lowest drafted player ever to make the Hall of Fame, Mike Piazza. And he made the Hall of Fame in the same year as the first number 1 overall pick to make the Hall of Fame, Ken Griffey Jr., as McDonough swings and misses at a pitch down and away, and the side is retired. Blue Sox get 1 on the solo shot by Zach Stevens, 1-0 Blue Sox after 5.5. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. The LSP store is now open. Get yourself a DVD copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers or shirts, including the LSP hoodie and the Never Concede Collection. Visit localsportsproductions.com/store after the game to place your order. So Scott DeBrule will bat here in the bottom of the 6th, and Borja Jones-Barasaluthe taking over an inning earlier than usual. At least an inning earlier than we expected, and that is strike 1 as it's fouled off by DeBrule. DeBrule out of Jacksonville University. as this is line picked off the ground at third base by Jimenez for out number 1. Is that Jimenez? That's Matt Karras at third base, is it? Holy, wow. Of course, when you enter the game like that, the first one is always to you. That's Matt Karras at third base. Foul tip into the mitt of Luis Torres, the new catcher, for strike 1. And the new batter is Grant Holman, who of course pitched earlier this game. This is lined off the glove of Barasaluthe onto first, throw offline. I don't think they would have had him anyway after it nicked off of Borja's glove. So that'll be a base hit for Holman. It was slowed down so much. Great effort by Barry. And Holman not exactly breakneck speed down the line, but... And Rick DeAngelis going out to the mound to just make sure Borja's okay, and his glove is okay at that. He's pointing to his gloves like, yeah, everything's fine. So that'll bring up Cody Pasick from the University of Maine. And Pasick fouls this one off for strike 1. Throw over to first and back safely is Holman. Pasick is from right here in Cotuit. Played his high school ball at Cheshire Academy. And that is outside for ball 1 to Pasick. Just finished his junior year with the Black Bears. Batted .250 with 24 RBIs this season for Maine. As that is down and away. Maine finished the season 15-34. Two and 1 the count. Holman at first being held on by Stevens. And Borja delivers. And that is on the outside corner, strike 2. Kind of a generous call there. But Borja will take it any way he can get it. Now, let's see if he'll try an off-speed pitch away, try to roll up a double play ball. And he will throw over to first, and back without a tag is Holman. There's another Lexington connection to UMaine baseball. Not necessarily with the Blue Sox, but Tomo Ebahara, who was a catcher for the Lexington High baseball team around the time Chris Shaw and Will Marcel played for them. He played his college ball for the Black Bears. This is bloop down the third baseline and foul. Count still full. Tomo is now a graduate assistant at the University of Maine. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Wow. Well, Borja getting the benefit of a couple of calls there, and Pasick not happy with either those strike 2 or strike 3 calls. And that'll bring up Bennett Hostetler from North Dakota State to to try and keep the inning moving. Borja will step off the rubber. Runner will retreat. Hostetler just finished his junior season for the Bison out of Bozeman, Montana, and Bozeman High School. Batted .250 with 6 homers and 20 RBIs. That is junior year at North Dakota State. And he pops this one up into shallow center. Out goes Barry. He's stumbling. And this will be caught on the run by the center fielder Dominic Zaire for the out that retires the side. That's not the first time the Blue Sox have had trouble with a drifting pop-up in the sun. But the side is retired, and the Blue Sox still lead 1-0 after 6. We're halfway home. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. LSP's next broadcast is Monday afternoon at 3:55 p.m. when the Greater Lowell Griffins host the Melrose Red Raiders in MIAA baseball action to the Division II North quarterfinals. Watch the game live at localsportsproductions.com/live, then stream the game the next day at localsportsproductions.com/on-demand or on the LSP YouTube channel, or buy a DVD of the game at the LSP store. Sean Sullivan, another Cal Golden Bear, will take over on the mound for the Kettleers here in the top of the 7th. And Anthony Campbell is going to bat here to lead off the inning. Excuse me, it is Barry, okay. And the first pitch to Barry is outside corner, strike 1. Sullivan just finished his freshman year with the Golden Bears as he swings and knocks the glove off the catcher Pasick for strike 2. Good. Glad Pasick's okay, though. And a swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, John Barry. And there's one down here in the top of the 7th. Sullivan was a dual threat for the Golden Bears. Pitched 26 innings at a .588 ERA. And in limited action at the plate, had 2 RBIs. As that is strike 1 to Dominic Zaire. Grounded to second, fired on to first for out number 2. So here is Jimenez. As I mentioned, played for Dan Graham at Lowell High. He was in the Super 8. Red Raiders lost their first game of the Super 8 the other day. As that's down and away, 1-1. Red Raiders will play number 1 seed Franklin, who lost to North Andover the first game, and that'll be today. That game's actually going on right now in Brockton at the Brockton Rock Stadium, and the side is retired quickly as Jimenez grounds out to third after 6.5. Still 1-0 Blue Sox. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Get your company's message on air or on localsportsproductions.com for as little as $25 per ad. Visit localsportsproductions.com/advertising or email sam@localsportsproductions.com for more information. Nate Espelin will get the ball here to begin the bottom of the 7th. Mentioned he was drafted in the 35th round by the Yankees the other day in the MLB draft. And in just a moment, we'll be joined by Morgan Brown. Just make sure the mic's turned up for you, Morgan. All right. As the first pitch of the inning is skied into left center field, and it'll be caught there by Kyle Adey for out number 1. So, Morgan, your second year with the Blue Sox, were you down here last year? I wasn't down here last year because I was in South Carolina, but this is a great experience, isn't it?
Awesome experience. I was not here last year, but I did get the chance to play in the Cape League in 2005 for the Wareham Gatemen, and got to say, unparalleled summer experience.
Yeah. Both teams, not full strength because a lot of the Kettleers players, of course, they attract great players from the NCAA, and they're still in the NCAA tournament. But for the Blue Sox, it's a great fire to forge your skills when the grind of the Intercity League comes up, and after all those years with the Arlington Trojans, getting your first ring last year must have been a thrill.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, you've been around the program enough to know that Rick runs such a great first class organization, He's not a Vince Lombardi, like, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing type, but he is, as this is skied into right field, twisting towards the line, but making the catch down the right field line is Nico Frelick for out number 2. There have been a lot of balls. I know we're scrambling through topics here, but there have been a lot of balls today that both teams, infielders and outfielders, have had to take some turns on. It's not even a windy day today, so no, it's sort of a high sky.
You know, even Coach Roberts from Cotuit was over talking to his guys about it because there are a lot of people, as you said, tough to read.
Like the foul ball that Jimenez dropped. Thankfully, didn't result in any punishment to us, but that's in there for strike one. But it's like you don't expect that. Maybe as a young ball player, you don't expect that sort of thing when it's not windy. Like what sorts of things do you have to learn about balls taking turns? Because you mentioned high sky, sun shining. That's what we want.
Yep.
Nice day like today. As this is driven down the left field line, over goes 80. I don't know if he'll have a play, and it's just out of his reach. That one didn't exactly take a turn, but 80 just didn't get an early enough break on it.
Yeah, I had to run a mile for that one. Yeah, it's one of those things when when you're talking to players about a day like today, it's
there's barely even a cloud in the sky too, so you think you can get a read on the ball pretty easily.
Yeah, and the most important thing is there's 9 guys out there. Somebody's going to see it. You saw a play last inning that was kind of dumped in between second and center. Dom came all the way in.
Yeah.
He saw it a little bit better than John did in that situation. So it's one of those days where, everybody, play the ball until somebody calls you off.
Right. 1-2 the count. So, but back to the thing about Rick, he's not the cutthroat type, but you love winning, and he knows how to win.
Yeah.
And just when you come to an organization like the Blue Sox, regardless of what organization you come from before, is that smacked up the middle for a base hit. What is the biggest difference you notice playing under Rick compared to playing even at Harvard or anywhere?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing you know about Rick is that he loves the game and he loves his players too.
Absolutely.
I mean, even to make a day like this happen, that takes extraordinary commitment, and he brings together a great group of guys, and there's expectation to win. And we're talking about the 25th year anniversary this year. I'm sure you've probably already been talking about it.
Yeah.
Rick will talk about it more. But he's put together an amazing legacy here. And there's always, I know you got to catch him up on play-by-play here.
No, it's fine. Hey, we have video. Remember, years ago, for so many years, this was audio only, so I wouldn't necessarily have this luxury. People can see what's going on now.
Everyone knows there's.
Mrs. Wojtik is especially happy.
So, yeah, the other thing that is great about the program is every year there's some new faces, but obviously there's some returning guys. Mm-hmm. So I think it's not only up to Rick to keep the cultural going.
Yep.
You've got Matty Karras there.
Yep. And basically the pipelines you lay along the way, because you see a lot of common themes, a lot of common threads. As this is bunted to first, Stevens will win the race to the bag, and that should do it for the inning. Yeah, that's out number 3. So, you see so many common connections between players on the roster, like a lot of Holy Cross players, a lot of Bentley players, a lot of BC players,
yep.
a lot of Lexington High players, and it's just those connections where Rick is able to keep, and now an influx of Fisher players. It started with Derlin,
mm-hmm.
and then you got Dom and Raimundo, and it's just these connections. It's like networking for work, but it's for baseball, and it's how he's able to keep bringing in quality talent year after year, and there's a reason the Blue Sox have never missed the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I would add that big recruiting score last year from networking was Manny Del Carmen.
Oh, well, that was all Sway. That was all Sway.
Yeah, but that's the network, right?
Yeah.
Sway's got his network. Everybody's got their network, and that it's very easy to recommend the Blue Sox
mm-hmm.
to say that you're going to come here and you're going to have a good time. You're going to play for a good organization,
and always be a contender for a championship.
Yeah, you don't. It's not as hard a sell as it might be at some other organizations.
No. Once I just got to do this one read. Want LSP to tape or broadcast your team's games? Rates start just $100 per game. Also ask LSP about streaming your next gaming tournament, wedding, concert, recital, school play, meeting, or other event. Visit localsportsproductions.com/services. or email Sam at localsportsproductions.com for more information. We're here with Morgan Brown. So Morgan, and it's a great opportunity for players who might this is something you probably don't see on the surface, but for someone like Zach Stevens, who's a midshipman, he can't play in the Cape League, even though he's a freshman All-American, just because of his commitments in Annapolis. But this gives him the opportunity to play summer ball, play for a winning organization in the time frame that he needs, and with that big home run to left field to give the Blue Sox the lead. I mean, you can see that his future is bright, whether he remains in service or maybe someday he gets. The Blue Sox drafted a Navy player this year, right?
The Red Sox.
The Red Sox.
The Blue Sox also drafted a Navy player, Zach Stevens.
Yes, but the Red Sox.
The Red Sox did, yeah. I mean, that Noah Song, right-handed pitcher from Navy, pretty outstanding player, and excited to see him in the next level.
Yep.
I think it's as you alluded to, the Service Academy students. It's a much different college experience than maybe some other players because of the commitments they have in the summer.
Well, Mark Leary would know, but then again, he doesn't have to play. But Mass Maritime, it's the same sort of thing.
Exactly. And obviously, all of us have tremendous respect for anybody that's gonna do that. They're great student athletes, and I think we're really lucky to have Zach for the month that he has.
Yeah.
And that was a big swing. So it's clear that Zach could play in any college summer league in the country. It's just the timing thing.
I tell people about how I work for the Blue Sox and who are they affiliated with and I said, they're not affiliated. It's not a minor league team. It's an amateur team. And then I've gotten more than one response where it's like, so it's just like a beer league. It's like not even close. Maybe we do share beers after the game, but we are much more competitive than that. And that competition is what Zach needs in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. I mean, you look in that dugout. I mean, as you said, it's not the full roster today, but we have more than half a dozen guys with pro experience.
Yeah.
And then obviously a lot of guys playing in good college programs. So no, it's a high level of baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt. I mean, you've seen it today.
The only thing I wish we had for the Blue Sox is I just wish we could send the Interstate League champion to the Connie Mack World Series. That would be amazing. Because the Braintree White Sox from the Cranberry League basically go every year because they win the Cranberry League every year, and I'd love to be able to see the Blue Sox take on the best summer league teams around the country. Because
why is it that Cranberry goes and
I think it's just because the Cranberries registered for that tournament, and the Interstate League is not. I don't know why we're not. I'm not saying we should be. I'm not saying we're missing out on anything. But I'm just saying I would like to see it.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that'd be really great. I mean, we obviously the last couple of years, well, probably about 10 years now, they've reinstituted the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm. So we get to see against Eastern Mass, and then we also had that brief basically tournament of champions at the beginning of the season between the four leagues we mentioned, then the North Shore League and what's the Central Mass League?
Yep.
Stevens takes ball 2, but
yeah, I mean, fans in New England are really, I don't want to say spoiled, but I mean, between the Cape League, the Futures League, the NECBL, obviously the 4 or 5 leagues you just mentioned in Eastern Mass.
Yep.
There's a lot of great baseball and easy driving distance, and as you can see today, a lot of people just come out from the community, and it's awesome.
Yep. So the current pitcher for the Kettleers is Chris Holcomb out of Tulane, and we had a Tulane product a couple years ago, Jake Wilsley.
Yep.
And he was a great power hitter and a great color commentator too when he injured his shoulder. But 2 down as Zach grounds out there. That'll bring up Matty Karras. When there was that line out to third, I initially called Jimenez, and then I was, wait a minute, those aren't Jimenez's pants; those are way too dirty. And then it's like Matty makes the play, picks it off the ground, and of course that's one of the unwritten rules of baseball. When you're newly entered into the field, the first ball always gets hit to you.
We told him that, and that was that was the roster move that took me out of the game, and I was, Matty didn't even have his spikes on yet, and I was.
He didn't have spikes on the mound?
No, on the mound he did, but then he took them off because he didn't know that he was going to go right back in. And I was over talking to Rick on third base the previous inning, and we knew we were going to make some some changes to make sure everybody gets in, and Matty wanted to get in at third base, so.
I was like, Matt.
So he said, "Why not now?" We should give Matt some credit there on fouling that ball off.
Absolutely.
He said he has not seen a live pitch in a long time. He just fouled off 89 miles an hour.
Like Matty, I don't think Matty has gotten plate appearances at the Intercity League level and drawn a couple of walks, I believe. This is going to be a tough play here. Oh my goodness, Matty's going to reach. It's going to be an E1 because I would have had it if the ball was on target, but Matty ups the on base percentage anyways.
Absolutely, you gotta love that.
Yep.
And Matty was excited to get out there. Cleats or no cleats. He now has the cleats on. I just want to put that on the record.
Yeah.
The cleats were on for that at bat.
Yeah.
He probably noticed it in his speed getting down the line, forcing the throw.
And here's Torres. Just took over a couple innings ago. Behind the plate, we've seen Goolsby and then Derlin, and now Torres here behind the plate.
Deep position for the Blue Sox this year.
We've often had a lot of catchers on the roster just because of the nature of the position of catcher, and also just because not everybody's here on every night, and that's fine, as that's in there for strike one to Torres. But you got to have a lot of catchers because of the way that the position is and the way that the Intercity League is. You got to have a catcher available.
Oh, absolutely. No, premium position. We're lucky to have these guys.
And of course, we had a Hall of Fame catcher inducted a couple years ago, Eric Poling. And one of my favorite memories of Eric Poling was a play in I believe it was 2010, where he basically gets bowled over as a throw comes into the plate, and he hangs onto the ball, and then basically elbows fly and everything. It's just like Eric, the pride of Pinckneyville, Illinois, is as Nick Santosuaso put it, and Eric was one of the best leaders we've ever had at a position where you absolutely need to be a leader at catcher.
Yeah, that's one of those things. The Blue Sox have had some great players come through, and the tradition just keeps going. Obviously, Danny Graham's been, the consistent for the.
But we wouldn't put him behind the plate. So.
No, I'm just sort of talking about the culture in general,
of course.
Leadership, and things like that.
Yeah. All right, swing and a miss, strike three. Torres is down. Side is retired. 7.5 in the books. We're talking with Morgan Brown here. We were hoping to play the Alabrandis on a Thursday, but Lexington High had a tournament game, and that postponed us. But we get back in action on Tuesday at Malden, I believe. Malden, they were in last place in the league, but they beat us. They beat us once last year, and that was a game like I've noticed in the last few years. Blue Sox will sometimes get off to a slow start at the very beginning, and then something will happen, and then that just turns on a switch, and it's just smooth sailing the rest of the year. And the Malden loss last year was that game.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're going to unfortunately be in the record books. We're the first. I think Malden's first win as a franchise.
In the Intercity League, anyways.
In the Intercity League, and. You're right. I mean, listen, anybody can beat anybody any day. You know that. And we had a little bit of a rough start last year, but then, really got things rolling and got hot at the right time. Obviously, the Alabrandis series in the playoffs was pretty epic.
Oh, my God. You're telling me as a, I immediately thought that they would be an immediate contender to the title after they entered the league.
Yeah.
They certainly proved it. It just makes me wonder how different things would have been if maybe we met them in the championship series because like the games were so close in the semifinals and then the first game in the finals, and I posted when the Blue Sox shared my clip of my call of Dominic's walk-off home run in Game 1. I commented on the post, was like, I swear to God, if you guys don't win the next 2 games 1,000,000 to 1, I'm going to succumb to my own commentary. Yeah, that was an epic series with a team that also expects to win after all their years of success in the Park League.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
not the Park League, the Yawkey League.
The Yawkey League, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they came over, was to play series like that.
Yep.
And a lot of veteran players on the Alabrandi's club.
Teddy Zuba.
Yep.
Dave Lightbody. Lightbody had 4 of the 8 home runs that they hit last year. Like, he's they're not your average expansion team because they're not an expansion team.
No, they're not an expansion team. But you saw what experience does there. I mean, their regular season record. Where'd they finish regular season? Fourth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's a team that has so much experience. You could.
I mean, honestly, if you're good enough, if you're a team that's as experienced, as accomplished as, say, the Alabrandis are, the Chiefs are, the Blue Sox are, seeding means nothing. The Blue Sox were the 3rd seed a couple years ago. They didn't even get a first round bye, and then they went on another run.
Yep.
And as that swung on and missed, and Drew Brzezowski, that should have been strike. I thought that was strike 3. Did he not get the first pitch was a strike? Well, the scoreboard's out, so
yeah,
but,
you have no backup there.
Yeah, but Drew Brzezowski on the mound, and and Drew Brzezowski also in his 10th season with the Blue Sox alongside Matt Karras, and having veterans like Drew and Matt in your rotation is always invaluable. Like, especially in the postseason, where the Blue Sox are wearing the Brzezowski special here, as this is skied to left and 80 makes the catch for out number 1. But it's invaluable in not only in the postseason, but like when we talked about when the Blue Sox got off to slow starts a couple times in recent years.
Yep.
And also you might think this is their experience is valuable in a setting like this, where you got a lot of the younger players, a lot of the less experienced players playing in this game. That's a base hit to right for Scott DeBrule in the second at bat.
Yeah, people do their job. I mean, you're looking at the infield right now is all. Well, John Barry was here last year.
Yep.
Otherwise, other than Drew, that's an entirely new infield.
Yep.
Yeah, the experience definitely helps. I'm glad to be here now. This is my 10th year in the league as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also, for what it's worth, great opportunity for our catchers to try to throw out some runners.
Oh, yeah, because
a team runs a lot.
Yeah, and you got to imagine a team coached by a Roberts will run a lot, considering how great a base stealer Brian was in his heyday.
Oh yeah, those two. I mean, Mike and Brian have always done a really good thing at the American Baseball Coaches Association convention. They've done the base stealing clinic there a number of times, and it's always a hit. I mean, I feel like the Roberts have taught half of America how to steal bases.
Right, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious that the book that Mike wrote was called "You Can't Steal Second and Keep Your Foot on First."
Yeah. There it goes.
Strike 2, uncontested steal there for DeBrule as we play a 1-0 game here in the bottom of the 8th. This 12-inning game. Sam Fielder with you alongside Morgan Brown.
And the thing about Coach Roberts too, you see him down there. He's always coaching. He's talking to guys right now. This is a great opportunity for all these players. He's gonna spend a lot of time with folks this summer, and that's what it's all about. We're watching a lot of guys in these maroon jerseys right now. He'll be drafted next year and the year after. So
yep.
This is a big summer for
I
development.
think the right-hander from Purdue that we saw earlier, Hofstra, I think we're going to see him drafted next year. He was topping mid-90s on the fastball, and he was really good.
Yeah, we're seeing some good arms. This guy right here, Holman, pitched earlier too. He's a two-way player, first baseman right now.
Oh no, that trickles away from Stevens. That's going to allow the tying run to score.
It's too bad.
Well, he did the right thing though. He did the right thing. He double clutched because he knew the run wasn't running at breakneck speed to set your arm properly, and just skipped it to first. So we have a tie ball game here in the bottom of the 8th. Of course, score doesn't really matter, in this game. This is just your scrimmage. Get your work in. This is important for both squads. This is ground to short, could be 2, on to second for 1, on to first, double play. Good redemption there for the Blue Sox infield, but the tying run does score, and we're done, and we're through 8 with a 1-1 ball game. So yeah, always a great experience coming down here, and
Awesome. Couldn't have a better day too.
yeah,
I'm glad the Sox.
I don't know if we've ever had this game rained out.
Hey, I mean, I'll knock on some wood for that, but
I think we're in the clear for today, but
but it's good. I mean, the Red Sox are playing too today. This is a day you want to play a lot of baseball. It's great. I mean, best day of the year for a 12-inning baseball game.
oh yeah. So who do we have pitching now for the Kettleers?
Well, we got a righty.
We got a righty hoping he'll turn his back to us so we can see the number. Well, we'll let you know that you can follow LSP.
There it is, Nicholas. Looks
Yep,
like
and
43.
43. Yeah, Kyle Nicholas out of Ball State. Let you know that you can follow LSP on the web at localsportsproductions.com. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring, LSP37, Snapchat, LSP Media, and subscribe to the LSP YouTube channel. You can also follow the Blue Sox on the web at LexingtonBlueSox.com, Facebook.com/LexingtonBlueSox, and on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSox_ICL. So we'll have Kelvin Guzman pitching next inning for the Blue Sox. Yeah, I mentioned how the Blue Sox, sometimes get off to a slow start a couple times in recent years, but turning it around often coincides with this game.
Yeah, I mean, again, I gotta say some of the things that Rick does that I think really help with team cohesion. He brings people together for this game. He usually brings people together for a golf tournament. And he finds opportunities for the guys to get to know each other, and that is a little different. Otherwise you're just kind of showing up and you only see the other guys at game time for games that count. So I think spending days like today, like the golf tournament, together are really helpful as the summer drags on.
Yep, I talk. When my dad, sees Rick's ownership of this team is basically like a labor of love, like owning a racing yacht or something, because it's an amateur team. He doesn't usually, like, he has sponsors for like equipment and stuff, but this is not like his business or anything. This isn't his business. This is his team, and he loves his team, and he loves his players, and he loves winning.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and we're all luckier for it. Really appreciate it. When I stopped playing professionally, I wasn't sure if that was the last time I ever played baseball, and so I'm grateful for Rick and people like Rick who allow us to keep playing.
Alex McDonough will take strike one to begin the top of the 9th. Again, a 12-inning ball game here. Down and away for ball one. Again, it's Kyle Nicholas from Ball State on the mound.
lot of good arms here. I mean, this is the other thing. It's,
91,
91.
91 to the dome. That's I don't know if that's good, but
yeah, I mean, this is a big day for Cotuit too. You know, they're going to have a lot of temp players here.
Yep, they're
openers on Monday.
Against the Yarmouth Dentists.
You know, Sam, as you said a couple minutes ago, they got some of their roster that's still playing and won't come in for a little while. So
yep,
it's a big day like today, day for some of the temp players to make their mark and potentially make the full season roster. So a lot riding on it for them.
Nicholas this season had a 6.02 ERA in 55 to third innings for the Ball State Cardinals. And a swing and a miss for strike 3, and down goes McDonough for out number 1. So that'll bring up Nico Frelick, and he's got to be proud of Sal.
Yeah, absolutely. What a first year for Sal.
ACC All-Freshman team, ACC second team All-ACC.
Mm-hmm. And New England Rookie of the Year.
Yep. He and Zach Stevens doing Lexington baseball proud. I gotta say, Zach Friedman has done obviously it started with Tom O'Grady. Obviously, Tom O'Grady, developed Chris Shaw and Will Marcel, but the talent that Zach Friedman has developed since taking over for Coach O'Grady is just it's just absolutely insane. He's turned Lexington into one of the top public school, high school programs in Massachusetts and maybe in New England and beyond.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I think the other thing is once you have a good program going and you're a younger player and you see it's possible for other kids that grew up in the same area you did, and you get to go and watch them and have that sort of interaction with top players. Obviously, Shaw's a big leaguer now, so
yep.
I think you see that, and that is inspirational. And
Jeff Costello, of course, before he moved on to BB&N.
Yep.
It's all the more impressive considering that when you play high school baseball in Massachusetts, you have one of the shortest seasons of any state. Like, you only play 20 games in the regular season. Like, when you play high school ball in Florida or Nevada or California, any of the warm weather states, you get to play a season that may not be, NCAA length, but you get many more reps. And so when you play in Massachusetts, you have to rely on summer and fall ball and AAU ball to get your reps in. And just to be consistent performance, Zach Friedman, of course, Danny Graham at Lowell. It's a testament to being able to develop Division I and even Major League talent in this part of the country at that level.
Yeah, I'll say, one of the other things that I think is really good about a lot of New England ball players, obviously playing summer ball, but a lot of them you'll see are multi-sport athletes.
Yep.
Too.
Jeff Costello played football. Was the star quarterback for Lexington High football before Sal Frelick, and Sal played not only football and baseball but hockey. And it's absolutely mind blowing to me that Sal was the Gatorade Player of the Year in football, and he's a D1 baseball player.
Yeah. No, I think that's the strength of a lot of the players in New England is that athleticism that you develop playing all the different sports.
Chris Shaw was also a hockey player.
Yeah. You see that. You see a lot of the great players. Tom Glavine was famously a very good hockey player as well, coming out of Massachusetts.
You don't necessarily think of hockey being the winter sport for baseball players, just because hockey's such a breakneck sport that you worry more about concussions or neck or knee injuries more than you would if, say, they were basketball players.
Yeah, it can be a little different type of mentality. Obviously, hockey, basketball is a more popular
basketball is the more popular sport, of course,
across the country. But New England's a hockey hotbed, so
yeah.
I think you have a lot of guys that
we were talking about before he came up here about Ronald Sweeney, who plays for Iowa Western Community College, and he was a 4-year varsity starter in baseball, but he's also 3-year varsity letter winner
in hockey, playing high school hockey in Minnesota, and we all know how big high school hockey is in Minnesota. You know, selling out the Excel Center.
Right.
You know, like you're with all due respect to the great hockey programs in Massachusetts, you're lucky if you get half the lower bowl filled for the MIAA tournament. But high school hockey is just so big in Minnesota, and this guy, you know, he's playing here in the Cape League. You know, possibly a major league draft prospect next year in a couple of years. And, you know, he was a 3-year varsity letter winner in hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love to see that. You know, when I was a college coach, I used to like to recruit the multi-sport athlete. You know, baseball, doing different things can put wear and tear on your body. I like to see people that can play different sports.
Yeah.
Obviously, by the time you get to the college level, most people have narrowed down and are only playing one sport. You see that.
Except for someone like Jackie Robinson, who lettered in 4 sports at UCLA.
Absolutely.
They won't even let you play 2 sports usually in college sports these days. Like Julius, like the 2 notable exceptions I can think of off the top of my head are Julius Peppers when he played football and basketball at UNC, and Pat Connaughton, baseball and basketball at Notre Dame.
Yeah, Jeff Samardzija.
Jeff
was
Samardzija
a
was a Notre Dame.
Yeah, pitcher.
Yeah,
so
that too. And
you got the guys, Jameis Winston.
He played baseball as well.
Baseball and football.
Yeah.
So, you know, there have been a couple guys, but the fact that we can recite them off the top of our head.
Oh, as Kelvin Guzman misses up it in and plunks Bennett Hostetler in his second plate appearance. And Hostetler is aboard to begin the bottom of the 9th. But go on.
Yeah, you know, just the fact that we're naming a couple off the top of our head. Obviously, I mean, it was much more popular through the 70s, before the scholarship era.
Before the scholarship era, yeah.
And it's still, I would also say it's much more popular than Division III. You look at a division like the NESCAC, which doesn't allow fall baseball. A lot more of those players are playing football, baseball than in other conferences, because the conference supports it. So I applaud them for doing that.
1-1 our score. Zach Stevens with the lone run for the Blue Sox on a home run. Solo shot as that's up and away, 2-0. The leadoff man aboard here for the Kettleers on a hit by pitch. And here's Colton Kessler, who is caught 9 innings. And still 3 innings to go. Over to first and back safely is the leadoff man, Bennett Hostetler out of North Dakota State. North Dakota State, of course, famous for their football program as the runner goes, and the pitch is hit through into right field for a base hit. Hostetler will advance to third, and it's runners on the corners. Nobody out to begin the bottom. The ninth throw to the plate, they caught him. They tried to catch the defense napping, and they throw him out. So good reactions there by the Blue Sox defense after Hostetler tried to catch him napping. So instead of first and third, nobody out. It's runner on first, no out, and that's the Kettleers want to take these chances, on the bases, but the Blue Sox have been good to snuff them out today.
Yeah, no, that was, that's obviously the Cotuit brand of baseball is running. We got a great look at that up here in the booth, and the throw was right on the money. Obviously, if that hadn't been right there, they would have scored, but great throw coming in from Nico out in right field.
Of course, the Frelick's, of course, no stranger to having strong arms. Sal's a shortstop by trade. He's usually playing DH and outfielder these days for BC, and of course having the strong arm being the Lexington quarterback.
Yeah, and there's having a strong arm, there's having an accurate arm, because you can always, you see a lot of right fielders try to throw the guy out of the plate and
try to be Jose Guillen back in '98.
But if the ball gets there right on the money, that's what you want.
I play MLB The Show a lot, and people will start Nelson Cruz in right field because he has like a 95 arm, but the rest of his fielding stats are awful.
Yeah, no, it's you need both of those things. I mean, we were just talking about that.
Not all of us can be Vlad Guerrero or Jose Guillen or.
Yeah, no, you want to be able to.
Oh, nice curveball by Kelvin, and that is out number 2. But yeah.
You got to be able to harness the ability. I mean, it's nice to have the 95 arm, but you got to be able to throw it on the money.
Yeah, 95 arm doesn't mean anything when you got like 40 accuracy or whatever
No.
Cruz has.
And we've seen big leaguers, Johnny Damon, obviously, and some other players like that don't have a big arm.
Don't have cannon arms, but they're great
career.
But they're great fielders otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got some of both Jackie Bradley Jr., Mookie Betts. I mean, the Red Sox outfield is
like Bradley Betts and Benintendi went on record this spring training saying they want to be the first. They want to sweep the Gold Glove at outfield this year.
Yeah, I mean,
they
certainly fun to watch.
They certainly have the ability.
Yeah.
Just as this is smoked into left field and down for a base hit.
Yeah, I mean, what an interesting place to win the Gold Gloves too. Fenway is so unique. Each of them has their own challenges.
Yeah, you got the monster, the triangle, and Pesky's pole. It's one of the most challenging outfields.
And
Betts baseball.
has a ton of real estate.
Yeah.
I mean, Pesky pole's down the line, but then it goes
and
out
then
to 380.
It goes out to 380. Yeah.
Yeah. So Betts has a ton of space. He's basically a second center fielder with how much space he's got to cover.
Yeah,
Jackie's got some funny angles out there, and then Benintendi, the least amount of space, but again, playing the wall is its own challenge.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez was very good in left field when he started his career with the Red Sox because he was a right fielder with the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
But Trot Nixon, I believe, was the right fielder at the time, and they didn't want to move Trot, so they put Manny in left, and everyone's like, okay, well, this is going to be a challenge for someone who's known for his bat, and he played the outfield very well. He had double-digit assists.
Yep, led the league in assists 1 year. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, I don't know. Of course, then there was that awkward cutoff he made of Damon's throw.
Manny being Manny.
1 year of Manny being Manny. Yeah, for better or for worse. Guzman looks at second and comes home with it, and that just misses 2-1. All three of those pitches very close to the strike zone, but he finds himself behind 2-1. Infield playing back here, outfield playing medium depth. Third baseman's off the line, and the pitch.
There it is.
I think that was less of a strike than either of the previous two pitches, just from this angle.
I think I agree with you. Not going to argue though.
Yeah, I mean it's not up to us to decide. Strike 3 call, that curveball working wonders for Guzman that inning, and we go to the 10th, still tied at 1. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. The LSP store is now open. Get yourself a DVD copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers or shirts, including the LSP hoodie and the Never Concede Collection. Visit localsportsproductions.com/store after the game to place your order. Also, LSP's next broadcast Monday afternoon at 3:55 p.m. when the Greater Lowell Griffins host the Melrose Red Raiders in the MIAA Division II North Baseball quarterfinals. Watch the game live at localsportsproductions.com/live, then stream the game the next day at localsportsproductions.com/on-demand or on the LSP YouTube channel, or buy a DVD of the game at the LSP store. And I misspoke. Cody Passig is the catcher. It's just that Kessler still in the lineup, just not catching.
Looks like he's over at third.
Yep. And we got a new pitcher, and trying to make out the number here. Is that 8?
8.
8. Yep. So that'll be
Schmidt.
that'll be Schmidt on the mound now. It started the game at third for the Kettleers.
I wonder if was he actually a two-way guy at San Diego State?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But Matt Karras, of course, not exactly who we think of as a two-way guy, but we were talking about it earlier. That's one of the unwritten rules of baseball. If you enter the game defensively, the first ball is always hit to you.
I know. He was only in there for one inning. I was in there for 6 or 7. I didn't get anything hit to me. Well, I got a couple balls that ended up there, but no ground balls hit to me. And Matty goes in and gets the first one. Such is life.
And he picked it off the ground like he had been there the whole game, and like he'd played third his entire career.
Smooth, always smooth. But I don't see him down there. But he got that at bat, got on base too. Big game for Karras today.
Yeah. Inning of scoreless relief, and a nice defensive play, and worked his way aboard.
Yeah, he might get a couple votes in the player of the game category.
1-1 our score on the top of the 10th. This 12-inning exhibition between the Blue Sox and the Kettleers, and Dominic Zare is ahead 1-0. Talk about, when you talk to Dominic as he grounds this one to short, when you talk to Dominic about his performance last postseason, the Blue Sox always have a next man up mentality, but what was it like seeing Dom take over the postseason after Sway's injury against the Alabrandies last year?
Well, it was great. I mean, we've got such a deep squad.
Yeah.
It was really just a case of who the next person
next man up
was going to be. I mean, we had historically Danny Graham plays that role in the playoffs, right?
Right.
And, Danny hurt his back just doing some work around the home, and everyone. We realize that everybody's living their lives outside of baseball. It's not a fully professional team, so so that happens. Dom really getting going there against Watertown. Well, he had a good series against the Alabrandies too.
He had a good series against the Alabrandies, and then continued it into the championship series against the Reds. As this is fouled off, that'll get out of play to make it 1-2. But it's just amazing that and it's also amazing considering he batted under 200 in the regular season, and then all of a sudden he's Babe Ruth.
Yeah. No, I mean Dom has that capability. You saw it pregame batting practice and things like that, and sometimes things just don't go your way. We got a lot of good players, So during the season, it was he'd be in for a game, out for a game, in for a game, out for a game. So he getting the opportunity to sort of play every day and make the most of it. That's outstanding.
Of course, Sway now back in the lineup. He's leading the team in slugging.
Sway is.
That's what 2 doubles in the first 2 games will do for you. Sway, as I always like to say, Sway, the cover story on Bunting Aficionado magazine.
Yeah, he's never afraid to do that.
No, not with. And of course, the bunt heard around the world as this is on to first. Unable to hang on to it is the first baseman Hostetler, and is that Hostetler? No, excuse me, Holman, yeah, and I think that's going to be a base hit for Kyle because
it's a pretty tough play there in the hole by the shortstop. He made a great
tough
effort.
Play, and I think he beat it out anyway. So
yeah, I think if he makes that play, you should send that clip into Sports Center. That was a pretty good play.
But 2 down, runner at first, Zach Stevens. Let's see if he's got an encore in him. Low for ball 1. The thing about being an athlete at Navy is that the military academies have, to put it one way, size restrictions. You can't they literally cannot recruit a 5-star offensive lineman if he's 300 pounds or whatever. And for football that is, and I don't know. David Robinson, of course, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, played at Navy, but
Greg Popovich was at Air Force.
Yep. Joe Cardona got promoted to lieutenant this weekend, the long snapper for the Patriots.
Yeah.
But
that sounded like it got him.
That sounded like it got him, yeah, but did that go off his bat?
It could be scrimmage rules. We had a voluntary no catcher's interference earlier as well.
Mm-hmm.
The way Zach's swinging, why not let him hit, right?
2-2. So, but of course you got to be an athlete if you're going to enlist in the service academy. So.
Yeah. I mean, these guys and girls, at the age of 17, 18, making a big choice, a big commitment, and
that's fouled off.
I appreciate all of them, and I think it's awesome when they are able to develop obviously great soldiers, sailors, and airmen, but also good athletes.
2-2 the count. The pitch that nearly ran him and got him again. So with the full count, runner on first will be going.
See if you can put a ball in the gap here with a runner going. See if we can get a run home. That'd be big for us.
The payoff pitch, runner with a slow lead, and the pitch is fouled off again. Zach from Lexington finished his high school career at IMG Academy, which is of course one of the legendary high school sports factories in America. Runner goes. The pitch is foul tipped into the catcher's mitt. 4 strike 3. So Zach comes up empty there. We go to the bottom of the 10th, still tied at 1. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Get your company's message on air or on localsportsproductions.com for as little as $25 per ad. Visit localsportsproductions.com/advertising or email sam@localsportsproductions.com for more information. Still chatting with Morgan Brown here as looks like Raimundo Gomez is going to come out for the bottom of the 10th. I've been trying to needle him into playing me in MLB The Show since the game came out. And says he's going to get the game next week.
Oh, there you go. You have a big showdown with Raimundo.
Big showdown, and it's like he's going to be way behind. I've already got signature. I've got a 99 rated Kershaw, Alomar, Thomas on my team. So I'm going to have Bench and Snyder. So
that's a Hall of Fame lineup there.
Absolutely. Although I've never been able to complete a league-wide collection, so I'm never going to get 99 Pudge and 99 Hornsby and 99 Willie Mays. So
I'll tell you, last week we were down at the NCAA regionals in Oklahoma City.
Right.
And outside of the Oklahoma City ballpark, there are 3 statues of baseball players and 1 football player, all with Oklahoma connections. And I think you could make a good argument for one of them being maybe 2 of them being the best ever at their position. So I'll tell you, if you want to guess, an Oklahoma native catcher.
Bench.
Johnny Bench, that's 1.
Yep.
And each of the sections of the stadium was named after him. So there's the bench section.
Yep.
There was.
Well, this was at was this the Women's College World Series, or
this was the NCAA Division I Men's Regional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which school is in Oklahoma City though?
So it was Oklahoma State was hosting the regional, but because of the rain, their ballpark was underwater.
Oh wow, yeah. So they had
the Cowboys
they had
hosted
the Oklahoma City Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So they hosted Nebraska, us, and UConn.
Okay.
In that regional, and it was a great setting. So the other one, we got a switch hitter outfielder. From Oklahoma.
That's Dale Murphy's a right-hander.
We wear the same number.
Oh yeah, Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle.
Yep.
Exactly. So a statue of him, and then a left-handed pitcher, usually associated with the Atlanta Braves.
Maddox wasn't from Oklahoma.
Nope.
We know Warren
Bit of
Spahn.
Older vintage.
Warren
you got
Spahn?
it. Warren Spahn. So you got Warren Spahn, Johnny Bench, and Mickey Mantle statues around, which I think would be a good start of a lineup there for
absolutely.
you, Sam.
Although, Mickey Mantle's not in the game, but Warren Spahn is.
All right. How is he in the game?
I don't have him.
Don't have him. Not
Nope.
good enough for your squad.
I just don't. I literally do not have his card yet.
All right. And then we got one. Speaking of multi-sport athletes, we got a football player, decathlete.
Jim Thorpe.
Yes.
Arguably just the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah.
Period.
But how about that for Oklahoma, not a big state having those
not
four.
a big state having. Yep. of course, when you just talk about the athletes from the universities in Oklahoma,
Yeah, a lot of good.
Barry
a lot of good ones there.
Sanders, of course, from Oklahoma State.
Yep. You got Baker Mayfield now.
Baker Mayfield, Blake Griffin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of good athletes out of Oklahoma. Number 2 draft pick this year, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yep,
His dad, Bobby Witt Sr., was Oklahoma.
Yep.
Highest drafted father-son combo ever.
When was Senior drafted?
Senior was drafted in, was it 1980s?
Like which pick, though? Nice.
Oh, which pick? It was 3rd. He was 3rd.
Oh, no.
Great bid.
Great bid at short, but it'll be an infield single.
Bobby Witt Sr. was the 3rd overall pick, and his son, Bobby Witt Jr., was 2nd overall pick on Monday. Pretty impressive bloodlines there.
Yep. I was talking about earlier, how Nate was drafted in the 35th round, but the draft used to go much deeper than that.
It did, yeah. Piazza,
like it's great that like in the same year, the first number 1 overall draft pick and the lowest to be inducted to the Hall of Fame and the lowest ever draft pick to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Same year, Griffey and Piazza. Nice sling over to first by Raymundo, but he's back safely.
Yeah, it just shows you, you give anybody a chance and they can do that. Obviously, we've seen people that have gone 1-1, not make it.
Yeah.
Most recently got Mark Appel.
Yeah, Matt Bush. Although it was a great story of him coming back to join the Rangers as a pitcher.
Yeah. And then, guys have taken the middle of the draft, become superstars. Guys taken at the top, become role players.
And you always wonder how, 20-something players were drafted ahead of Mike Trout.
Oh, I know. They were just talking about the Nationals and the Diamondbacks both had two picks ahead of them.
Yep. And actually, Mike Trout wasn't even the first player drafted by the Angels that round. Peter Borges was.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got potentially the guy who could go down as the greatest player of all time.
Yep.
Was not taken 1-1.
Well, I saw an interesting analysis of Mike Trout's career WAR pace, and I saw an interesting analysis of Mike Trout's career WAR pace, and like the average regression of half a win per season after like age 30 or something. Like if he keeps up that pace, at that with that regression, he still at the end of his contract that he just signed, he still will not have caught Ruth and Bonds. Like you see all the insane seasons that Mike Trout puts up in terms of WAR. And by the end of his contract, he's still, like 5 to 10 wins behind Ruth and Bonds.
There's a part of me that loves the fact that Mike Trout is going to have, if not all, then most of his career with the Angels. And there's a part of me that wishes he played in the Eastern time zone, just so more people got to see him.
More people got to see him, and also, what are the Angels doing to fill the roster around him?
They invested in Ohtani.
They invested in Ohtani, but they also invested in Pujols and Hamilton and Zach Cozart and C.J. Wilson.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, they've had some things that didn't pan out. Obviously, they put the money on the table for Pujols, but I think we're seeing the investment in players. Well, unfortunately, players my age not pan out. But
no, you got to be really lucky to. As that throws into center field, that's going to play to run. As the infielders didn't get to second base in time for the throw, and Cotuit has the lead at 2-1 here in the bottom of the 10th. And Matty Karras is going to go out and have a word with Raymundo on the double steal. The Blue Sox have been today usually been very good with. Gunning down runners, stealing and just getting them out on the bases in general. But that wasn't it, Chief.
No, actually, Blue Sox I feel like played a pretty tight defensive first 10 innings. What are we in the 11th?
Bottom of the 10th.
Bottom of the 10th.
One out.
First 9. So we played the 9 pretty clean.
Yeah, and hey, that's as many as we play in the Intercity League.
And that we have to go extras to get the 9.
Yep,
Yeah, this is going to basically be a double header in one.
just about. We a few years ago we played. There were a couple times we came down here for the weekend, 2013 and 2014.
Played games both days.
Yeah, swing and a miss, 1 and 2. That trip, excuse me, that's strike 3. My mistake. And so that trip to the mound from Maddie certainly helped. So here's Bennett Hostetler back to the plate.
What's his school program? He's got green cleats on.
North Dakota State.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Yep.
that would explain it.
Yeah.
Last time I was up, I was going to talk about how North Dakota State fans for its football program and just being a giant killer of Division One FBS teams.
That was Carson Wentz, right?
Carson Wentz, yeah. But it's like everyone's saying, oh, are you going to make the move up to Division to FBS because you're so good? It's like, what conference are they going to be in? First of all, and
I guess they'd probably be a Big 12 school.
Well, they would be, but they're a little small, I think, for them to consider them, number one.
Uh-huh.
And number two,
what's that other one, the Mountain West?
The Mountain West, yeah. But there are rules about having a large enough stadium to be FBS, and I don't know if they can do that with the Fargo Dome. Swing and a miss, Raimundo. Back-to-back Ks after that miss, after that double steal and the visit by Maddie. And Cotuit has a 2-1 lead after 10. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow LSP on the web at localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring, LSP37. Excuse me, wrong one. You want LSP to tape or broadcast your team's games? Rates are just $100 per game. Also ask LSP about streaming your next gaming tournament, wedding, concert, recital, school play, meeting, or other event. Visit localsportsproductions.com/services or email Sam at localsportsproductions.com for more information. So, you had one of your better seasons in your Intercity League career last year with the Blue Sox. What do you think contributed to that? Was like getting another chance with the Blue Sox after the Trojans folded, or?
Well, I mean, one of the nice things was the Blue Sox take batting practice every day,
Yeah,
which is pretty nice.
Some teams don't have that luxury. Like we go to the we go to Trum Field, and the Brandies don't really get that luxury because there's often a Babe Ruth game right before
Exactly.
them.
Yeah, and if you're not making the time to get the work in on your own, otherwise, it's really challenging. So. It was tough once everyone's got a 9-to-5 job, and a lot of times with Arlington, I'd be showing up 5-6 minutes before the game started, and you don't take any swings, and it's a little challenging. So I think the regularity last year was really great. Got a new contact prescription, a little behind the scenes stuff there, which helped. So a lot of those things are great. The other thing is, in the Blue Sox lineup, you're not really relied on to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I probably saw our more fastballs last year. So a lot of things. I think it was a little bit of everything.
New pitcher for Cotuit is Daniel Richardson, who just finished his sophomore year out of San Diego State. This year he pitched 29 2/3 innings and allowed a 5.76 ERA with 38 strikeouts in those 29 2/3 innings. He's got a career totals of 4-2 in 55 innings with a 5.89 ERA and a 2.38 allowed batting average.
The summer I was down here, we had a bunch of San Diego State guys on the Wareham team, and the coach at the time was Tony Gwynn. I always wondered what that would have been like to get a hitting lesson.
Oh my God,
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn. Well, of course, the most famous product out of San Diego State in the Tony Gwynn era wasn't a hitter, Steven Strasburg.
That's right, Steven Strasburg. We had during a game like this, 2005, we had a little-known guy from an NAIA school in Bethel College come out and pitch for us, and he was following Daniel Bard, who was our number one. Bard, obviously, had all the scouts here lined up at the rail, and then we brought in one of the guys that was supposed to be a temp player from Bethel, Iowa, and he was a big guy, looked like Mr. Clean, and he threw a couple pitches. The scouts were getting up to leave after Bard had thrown. They put them back down because Justin Masterson was throwing about 95 from a low arm slot, and he got a scholarship there at San Diego State, partially because we had so many San Diego State guys on the team. They all called Gwynn, offered him a scholarship, and then the next year he became a supplemental first rounder with the Red Sox.
Yep.
And Bard also, so they were teammates on the summer team, both picked by the Red Sox in the same year.
Slap down the first baseline. Foul remains 2-2. This is Anthony Campbell right now from Pelham, New Hampshire. And a check swing, and they'll appeal, and he did not go, so it's a full count to Campbell. Top of the 11th of this 12-inning exhibition. We approach the 3-hour mark. Making pretty good time.
Unbelievable. I mean, you play a 3-hour baseball game, play 12 innings, 11 innings. Maybe we should send some notes to Major League Baseball when they're talking about playing quicker games.
I mean, to be fair, we don't really have commercial breaks, so
no.
we don't have commercial breaks. We don't have instant replay, and but hey, we were ahead of the times with just motioning to give an intentional walk.
Yeah, no, it's been a pretty quick game. I mean, I can't think of too many plays that would have gone to replay, maybe one or two. Pitchers, there's been a couple walks,
but
couple
we
hit
don't.
batters, but pitchers are more or less throwing strikes. Guys are making plays. We still the fans that were here are still here. I think it's been a good.
It's been a great day. It's been a great game. Just get your reps in and get ready for the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone. I mean, obviously we're all rotating through, but everyone's got to have at least 3 at bats per person, if not 5 or 6.
Yep. At least 4 by the end of. Everyone will have at least 4, I think, right now.
Oh,
as that skips to the backstop and up to second goes Campbell.
We got Gray, still got last year's number on the helmet, different jersey.
He's got Dave's jersey on. He's got 41 on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big shoes to fill. It's just so appropriate that Dave, won co-postseason MVP in 2016 because Dom's run last year kind of reminded me of Dave's run in 2016 because he was Rick told the story in his Hall of Fame induction about how he had a down year and he was thinking he was going to hang up the spikes, and then he gave Rick a call and said, hey, can I take batting practice? We got a game, and Dave just got on a hot streak and was pretty much single-handedly responsible for us winning the semifinals that year.
Yeah, Dave, heck of an athlete, and beyond that, he was always just such a great guy.
He absolutely was.
Dave, if he hadn't done anything on a baseball field, he would have been a great guy and a great teammate. Always loved playing against him. Phenomenal athlete, great college career, two-way player. Dave, he's missed by everybody, and just an amazing guy.
Yeah. Here's Alex McDonough. And that's downstairs for ball 1. Breaking ball gets in there for strike 1 to even the count. Campbell off of second, the pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. That's not just a straight down curveball. That's coming in from way out here, and then it's bending over and down.
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball. Like we said, seen a lot of fastballs here. It's nice to have the radar reading out there in center field.
Yeah,
so.
we don't like. Last time I remember there being a radar gun at intercity league games. That's thrown away, and here comes the tying run. Wow, Campbell. Or is that Barry?
That was Barry.
Oh, that's Barry. Oh, wow, he moved up in the lineup then.
Well, we swapped him around.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. I thought that was Campbell because he was in because that was your spot.
Yeah, Johnny moved up to my spot with the infield shift. Scrimmage rules, Sam. We're messing with you.
Fair enough. So this is always one of the harder games of the year for me to call. So here's Nico as he takes ball 1. Tie ball game. Both the go-ahead run for Cotuit and the tying run for the Blue Sox are scoring on an error.
Yeah, we were just talking about that clean ball game, but sometimes those mistakes will
come back to
get you.
Swing and a miss by Nico, and it's 1-1.
I gotta say, I mean, the two best barrels of the game were both from Zach Stevens.
Yeah,
there haven't been a whole lot of balls hit really square.
No, not really by either side. Of course, Zach's home run to left the first run of the ball game. Good job by the catcher, Pasick, to find that one and prevent the runner from advancing to third. Still only one out here in the top of the 11th, runner at second, representing the go-ahead run for the Blue Sox. This is popped up, foul, and out of play, and that'll even the count at 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we're talking, they've brought out a different arm every inning, and this guy's 90 plus.
Yep.
There's some good ability on this Cotuit team.
Mm-hmm. Matty's still topping, low to mid 80s on his fastballs. That's in there for strike 3 called, and that's always good to see, especially early in the year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, some of the guys, particularly guys that didn't play a college season, are still just kind of coming into form here.
So this has to be Campbell, right?
Another number 1.
Yeah. So this is Campbell. This is Campbell batting. So Barry is in Morgan's spot, and this is Campbell in Barry's old slot as Campbell fouls this one off for strike 1.
And I think Matty's at bat was in my spot too.
Yeah. The 0-1 to Anthony. Here it is. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Blue Sox bringing some fans, of course, down here to the Cape. Cotuit. A lot of the host families out here. And the 0-2. Inside out swing to third. Fielded there on to first. In time, the sides retire, but the Blue Sox do score the tying run. We got an inning and a half to go here in Cotuit, this 12-inning scrimmage. Go to the bottom of the 11th, tied at 2. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow LSP on the web at localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring, LSP37, Snapchat, LSP Media, and subscribe to the LSP YouTube channel. So Derlin going back behind the plate for the bottom of the 11th. And he will be joined by Nick Harper on the mound. Harper, another Holy Cross product. And, yep, so Morgan's going to finish this bottom of the 11th and head back to the dugout. But another Holy Cross product here, Nick Harper, making his Blue Sox debut.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, what a good connection there for Rick to be able to bring some of his guys from the alma mater over to Lexington for the summer. Been a good lineage from the cross.
So here's Colton Kessler to lead things off in the bottom of the 11th. 2-2 our score in this bottom of the 11th of this 12-inning scrimmage. Annual tradition between the Blue Sox and Rick's former team, the Cotuit Kettleers. And the first pitch to Kessler is outside for ball one. 81 miles an hour that time from Nick. Outside 2-0. I seriously doubt that was a 38 mile an hour pitch. That was just the throw back to the mound from Derlin. Harper delivers the 2-0. It's lined through the gap in right field for a base hit. And the go-ahead run aboard for the Kettleers.
Let's see if Roberts is going to play some small ball here.
That's basically how they were able to score their 2 runs.
Actually, I'm going to guess that he's not, because he's not coaching third base.
There's nobody in the third base coach's box right now.
So
not even one of his assistants.
It's an innovative approach.
Kessler off of second. And the pitch. High for ball one to even the count. Looks like this is Richard Brereton from Emory University. So that's on the outside corner to make it 1-2.
Roberts is back out there. We'll see. See, they got 2 strikes. Can't do a whole lot here.
No.
No runner.
Down and away. Darlin Cox to first. No advance. 2-2. My mistake. This. Kessler off of first, being held on by Stevens. Been pretty much the same, almost the same fielding alignment for most of this game. Of course, Morgan started this game. And he's here in the booth with us. And now it's a hit by pitch of Brereton. So first and second, nobody out. And that'll bring up Colin Davis from Wofford, whose basketball team was a nice story this year.
Yeah, Wofford's impressive. It's a tiny school population-wise. We actually opened up with them baseball this year. We're down there for 4 games, but they have a Division I basketball and football program, despite being a tiny population.
They will get this bunt down, fielded there, and keeping his foot on the bag as Stevens as the throw
Great
pulled
play.
him into foul territory.
Outstanding footwork at first by Zach. It's one of the hardest plays at first base you can make, shifting across in front of the runner.
So that'll bring up Ron Sweeney with the go-ahead run at third. The infield will come in here with second and third and less than 2 outs. But of course, even if a ball is hit right to the second baseman, that's no guarantee that with a Mike Roberts team that the runner at third won't try to score.
No, you'd expect to be aggressive here. We'll see. Sweeney's going to be trying to lift the ball in the air.
That's on the outside corner for strike one. Wofford had a pretty good year, too, in baseball, 36 and 25.
Yeah, good program. Todd Interdonato has been the head coach down there for a while, done a good job.
Fouled off, 1-2. We're being eliminated by Mercer. Actually got an upset over number 1 seed Samford in the SoCon tourney. 2-2. Inside, that'll fill the count. Well, if you walk Sweeney, that's not the worst thing that could happen. He's a power hitter. You got first base open, 1 out. You can still get the next batter to roll into a double play.
Yep, absolutely.
But
got him.
Did he go
Swing.
around? Yes, he did. So you don't have to worry about loading the bases there. It's 2 down on the strikeout. And that'll bring up Cam Hill. With the go-ahead run at third, 2 out, and an insurance run standing at second. Outside corner for strike one. Pitcher's pitch. Pitcher's call too. And when you're a pitcher and you see you're getting calls like that, you can just basically live out there. There's absolutely nothing a batter can do with a pitch out there, is there?
No, he tried it again, just a little further outside. Probably a good move. See if you can get the hitter to adjust to that strike zone and chase something out there. So good pitching.
If you got a 2-seam fastball, that's a deadly spot to be able to get a call on. 2-seam fastball if you're a right-hander, that is.
Yeah. Hill showed bunt there. I think that was basically just to see a pitch. He's going to try to drive in these runners, even though he showed bunt earlier in the game.
Inside corner this time, 2-2.
It's a wide plate up there.
Runners at second, third, 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. Couldn't get the outside corner that time, and the count is full. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Well,
right.
that was about in the same spot as the last pitch, wasn't it?
Outstanding. I mean, good recognition there by the battery to know that they could get that call. Huge pitch in that situation with the go-ahead runs on second and third. Great job.
All right, well, Morgan, thanks for joining us in the booth, and we will see you on Tuesday, hopefully, assuming it doesn't rain.
That's right. Sounds good. Take care, Sam.
Thanks a lot. All right, Morgan Brown, everybody. We got one more inning of baseball to go. Blue Sox tied with the Kettleers 2-2. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow the Blue Sox on the web at LexingtonBlueSox.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring LexingtonBlueSox.com, Facebook.com/LexingtonBlueSox, and on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSox_ICL. That's more like it. Dominic Zaire to lead things off here in the top of the 12th, the final inning of this scrimmage here from Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. And and Zaire fouls that one off his ankle, it looks like, and he's a little shaken up. Mike Roberts going out there to check on him. Zaire limping around a little bit. Leg trainer coming out to check on Dom. You do not want to lose Dominic. That would be a difficult loss for the Blue Sox if you lose the reigning Intercity League postseason MVP. Going to take a couple practice swings, and it looks like he's good. So Jacob Drew, another North Dakota State player, on the mound for the Kettleers. And that's fouled straight back. 0-2 the count. Drew just finished his sophomore year. He's from Alexandria, Minnesota. And this is off the third baseman's glove and into left field for a base hit. So much for fouling the ball off his ankle. Zaire is aboard as the go-ahead run here in the top of the 12th. And Anderson Jimenez back to the plate. Drew this year for the Bison, pitching 24 2/3 innings and was 1-2 with a 4.74 ERA. And that's down and away for ball one. Top of the 12th. We're past the 3-hour mark in this 12-inning scrimmage, and here in the top of the 12th. As this is grounded to short, could be two, fielded there for one. On to first. Good scoop at first for the double play, Grant Holman. So just like that, 2 down here in the top of the 12th. And now it'll be up to Kyle 80. Nice to have Morgan Brown on color commentary earlier, talking about just about everything from multi-sport athletes to MLB The Show to Rick's love for this team to his experience as a coach at Harvard and everything in between. 0-1 the count to Kyle. As he chops this one to the left side, charging is the shortstop on to first in time to retire the side. So we go to the bottom of the 12th, last half inning of play in this 12-inning scrimmage, tied at 2. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. The LSP store is now open. Get yourself a DVD copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers or shirts, including the LSP hoodie and the Never Concede Collection. Visit localsportsproductions.com/store after the game to place your order. So we're going to have a new pitcher for the Blue Sox, and it's Mikey Stewart, right-hander from Dresden, Maine, sophomore from Monmouth. Played his high school ball at Cheshire Academy. And this is an interesting situation because Mikey is basically trying out with this inning for the Kettleers. In his high school career, Stewart pitched 129 innings and totaled a 16-7 record, and was and won back-to-back New England championships. So the final inning of play here, and another beautiful day. I don't think we've ever had a rain out in any of these games that we've played against the Kettleers. Stewart's first assignment will be Scott DeBrule getting his third at-bat from Jacksonville. Stewart comes set against DeBrule. And the pitch, down and in for ball 1. That misses inside, 2-0. Sidearms it down and in, 3-0. Seeing 66 on the gun there. Third baseman Jimenez in, rest of the infield playing back, the outfield playing deep here. And that misses down and in for ball 4, and DeBrule coaxes out a 4-pitch walk to begin the bottom of the 12th. So that brings up Grant Holman. And a nice pick at first. Last half inning. Now let's see what he can do with the bat against against Stewart. Misses for ball one. 5 straight balls by Stewart. Stewart standing on the extreme first base side of the pitching rubber. The pitch, and that skips to the backstop. And up to second on the wild pitch goes to Brule. So this inning not starting out the way that Stewart wanted. Outfield was playing shallow initially. Now they're backing up. Go ahead run at second. Nobody out. 2-0 the pitch. Down and in 3-0. 7 straight balls by Stewart. The base open. It does allow the possibility of a double play. And that's exactly what happens. 2 straight 4-pitch walks issued by Stewart. And that brings up Cody Pasick. Rick DeAngelis is going to come out and have a word with Stewart. Mike Roberts is standing behind home plate with his phone up, recording video of this performance. So, of course, as I mentioned, this is a tryout basically for the Kettleers for Stewart. So DeBrule at second. Holman at first. And a balk has been called. This is not the inning, clearly, for Stewart. Infield not coming all the way in yet. The pitch. And that's in there for strike one. Stewart's got his work cut out for him. And that hit him. So 2 4-pitch walks, a balk, and a hit by pitch. That loads the bases with nobody out. And that'll bring up Bennett Hostetler. Bases full of Kettleers. Nobody out. And that hit him. This is a difficult inning, certainly for Stewart, as I've said, but 2 walks, 2 hit batsmen, a balk. That'll bring up Cameron Williams from the University of Texas, and that goes way outside for ball one. Swing and a miss and an off-speed pitch. 1-1. Williams just committed to Texas a couple weeks ago. High school senior. As that skips to the backstop, and that'll plate another run. Still nobody out. 2-1 the count. 2 walks, a balk, two hit by pitches, now a wild pitch. And a swing and a miss. And that is strike 2. So Cotuit is going to end up winning this scrimmage. The question is by how much? Outside, full count. Stewart comes set. The pitch is outside, and that loads the bases again. So that'll bring up Mason Dodd. Bases loaded, nobody out. And that bounces out. No, it hit him. And I think I just heard Mike Roberts say one more hitter. And that one more hitter is going to be Colin Davis. Davis, the 7th batter of the inning with nobody out, 3 runs home, bases loaded. Another hit batsman for Stewart, and it's popped up. Zaire makes the catch. The throw to the infield will be cut off. It's a sacrifice fly and an RBI. And that's going to do it for the ball game, it looks like. As they just said, let's pack it up. And I believe that's what Rick DeAngelis said. He said, roll it. Or are we going to have one more inning? Looks like we're going to have one more inning. All right, so we'll let you know that LSP's next broadcast is Monday at 3:55 p.m. when the Greater Lowell Griffins host the Melrose Red Raiders in the MIAA Division II Division II North baseball quarterfinals. Watch the game live at localsportsproductions.com/live, then stream the game the next day at localsportsproductions.com/on-demand or on the LSP YouTube channel, or buy a DVD of the game at the LSP store. So Derlin Tejeda will lead off this final half inning of this scrimmage. It's scheduled for 12, but it looks like Mike Roberts wanted to get one more pitcher in. And the pitch to Derlin is an inside-out swing that's fouled off for strike one. And Richard Brereton, who had that bat earlier, is now on the mound. Runs up and in, ball one. Breaking ball misses up and in, 2-1. So everything inside thus far to Derlin with Zach Stevens on deck. On the outside corner to even the count at 2. Downstairs, full count. And Derlin grounds this one to short. It'll be fielded there. On to first in time, one down here in the top of the 13th. I'll bring up Zach Stevens, who has the hardest hit ball of the day today. That solo shot he had all the way back in what, the 5th? 6th? It's been a long day. Brereton winds and delivers. And a swing and a miss and a change up there for strike one. Swing and a miss. Got another one by him there, another off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Fouled off there on the changeup. Still 0-2 to Stevens. With John Barry due up next. And that is fouled off. Took a chunk out of Pasick there as he shook his hand out. The 0-2 once again. Swing and a miss, strike three. Blue Sox down to their final out here. And it'll be in the person of John Barry. Barry takes up and in, ball one with the fastball at 89 that time. Infield back here, outfield playing at medium depth. And this is into right field, and this will be caught. And that will do it. So the Blue Sox fall 6-2, but really in this situation, it's not the score that matters, just getting the reps in, getting the game action, and just the camaraderie that comes with this trip every year for the Blue Sox. Zach Stevens pitched well, played well at first base defensively and with the home run, and Junior Pena with 2 excellent innings out of the bullpen, and even Matt Karras, scoreless inning and a nice play at third base and even reached base once. So with that said, this has been a presentation of the Lexington Blue Sox in association with Local Sports Productions, serving Greater Boston student-athletes since 2011. Copyright 2019. Unauthorized redistribution of any portion of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Lexington Blue Sox or Local Sports Productions is strictly prohibited. LSP's next broadcast is Monday afternoon at 3:55 p.m. when the Greater Lowell Griffins host the Melrose Red Raiders in the MIAA Baseball Division II North quarterfinals. Watch the game live at localsportsproductions.com/live, then stream the game the next day at localsportsproductions.com/on-demand or on the LSP YouTube channel, or buy a DVD of the game at the LSP store. And be sure to follow LSP on the web, localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Teespring LSP37, Snapchat LSP Media, and subscribe to the LSP YouTube channel. Once again, the final score from Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. On Cape Cod is the Cotuit Kettleers 6 and the Lexington Blue Sox 2. For Morgan Brown, my name is Sam Feeler, reminding you freelance isn't free. Thanks for tuning in.